As you're going down this business acquisition process, you're going to find that you develop skills. Maybe you have good skills, maybe you don't have good skills, but you'll develop and get better like doing anything. And you're going to do an awful lot of calls with people. Those can be Zoom calls, those can be phone calls, those can be in-person meeting. But you want to be cognizant of a few things in that. You want to be what they call situationally aware. Better known a lot of times in the military is keep your head on a swivel. Know what's happening around you, know what's happening in front of you. With respect to that, it's important, especially if it's a Zoom call, to pay attention to body language. Are people looking away? Are they making a face that tells you that they're not really understanding and or agreeing with what you're saying? Super important. That's an awful lot of the communication. But one of the things that I see that all of us have to work on are our listening skills and our memory in terms of what we want to say without having it look like you're doing a written script, which is not good. So at my advanced age now, I get a checkup every year or two. And one of the things they do is they give you a memory test. And in that memory test, they say, okay, I'm going to repeat 3 words for you. And then they talk some more. And then they come back and ask you about those 3 words. In this case, it's always interesting. That assistant always uses the same words: apple, tree, penny. So first time, apple, tree, penny, no problem. So go back again, apple, tree, penny, no problem. The last time I went, when she said we're going to do the memory test, I said, wait a minute. I think I've developed some other skills here. Apple, tree, penny? And she said, oh, yes, I got to change those words. People get into habits. But remember that they give you a memory test for a reason, how much you're cognitively aware. When I was in corporate sales, we always had a plan when we made a sales call, and we took notes in that sales call. And one of the interesting things after a sales call in those days, we would dictate what we called report a call. If you went to a call, you had written notes through the call, you came out, you didn't look at the notes, and you just recorded the report of call, and then went back and listened to that recording and checked it against your notes, you would have found, wow, I missed that, I didn't remember that, etc., etc. So taking notes were critically important. But one of the other things that Napoleon Hill did this, he took students on a walk around town, and he asked them to be aware of their surroundings. And so then they would finish the walk, they came back, he said, well, what did you see? And they would comment on, they saw a car, or they saw something in a shop. I think if memory serves me, the list was reasonably small of people remembered. His list was something like 700, I think it was. If you read Think and Grow Rich or The Law of Success, you can actually read that section. So I would encourage you to think about that. Work real hard at listening. It tells you objections. It tells you what someone is thinking with respect to what you're saying. So take a look at that situation and work on it. If you're in a state or a country where you can record the calls, go ahead and record the calls. Sit down, write your notes from the call, then go back and listen to that or watch that call and see how much of that you remember. I'm going to do the same thing here. And I want to check my notes. Okay, good. I actually got all the things I wanted to talk about there, with one exception. There's a reason that you write down the night before Ivy Lee. And there's a reason that if you use a planner, and particularly if you use a CRM, you're going to have a lot of activities that you will need to do in the future or need to do immediately. Writing down Ivy Lee items, writing down in a CRM, writing down in your calendar something that's going to happen in the future that you need to do lets you forget that. You turn the page in the planner, oh yeah, I got to do that on that date. I totally forgot about that. And I have had people that didn't have a good system literally lose acquisition sales because they forgot to follow up. The one that comes to mind most is a person that was asked to call back on a certain date. They didn't do it. They called a month later or something like that. and the person said, "Oh yeah, I wonder why I didn't hear from you. But you know what? You really opened my eyes to buying businesses. Since we talked, I've bought 2 and I have another one for next week." Ooh, that hurts. So do me a favor. You've listened to this podcast. It's a video. It's been a few minutes now. Go ahead and write down what you remember from this video without watching it. Then go back and watch the video and check your notes and see how many things you missed. Be specific. If I mention some specific things by memory, write those down. But listening skills, being situationally aware, looking at body language, super important for this process. If you do not know the steps, go over to brucewhipple.com. There's some free information there. The all-new Deep Dive Bootcamp outlines those steps. Really important as well. You will get better at listening. You will get better at memory, like anything else, if you exercise that and work on making it better. So I would encourage you certainly to do that. Hope this is helpful. Remember, go back, write your notes right now, and then go back and listen to this video and see how many things you missed. I think it's going to be an education for you.